1991 Peugeot 205 GTI. This is the 1.9 model. It's been in storage for a couple of years. It's just been pulled out. Some fresh fuel, new battery, good wipe down, and here we are. So let's start by having a look at the bodywork. If we start on this front corner, you see the bumper meets the wing here, nice and evenly. The clip on the bumper, if we're going to be really picky, so this red stripe, it's just kicking out just at the end. It wants a new clip or something, or just a bit of an adjustment there to get it to sit in. You can see it's, we're being really picky there. This lower half of the bumper, that's nice and clean. All the plastics on this, they're not sort of dried out or covered in back to black or anything like that. They're nice and matte, just as they should be. This front wing, all nice and clean, except for there is a little, it's almost like a little bit too much paint just there that wants polished out. Judging by the bonnet, I think it's had some paint with it before, but obviously it's a 32-year-old Peugeot. It's going to have had some paint. Correct 1.9 wheels, and they're still the original speed lines with all the correct stamps and everything on them. We've got a Pirelli P6000 on the front, and we'll check them as we go around. Coming down this side, we'll have a look along the sill here. Again, that's all pretty tidy along there. All the right shape, it's not sort of crushed in or anything like that. Underneath, I did pop my head underneath before. It looks like it's got a new exhaust. And nice and clean under there. It's not sort of caked in under seal or anything like that. Again, sort of the bottoms of the doors can be a bit of an issue on these, but it's all nice and clean all the way along. Got a little stone chip just there, which actually was a bit of dried polish or something. I think that's just come straight off. All the red stripe on this one's nice and straight all the way down the driver's side. This top half of the door, that's all nice and clean. Like I say, all the plastics, including the wing mirrors, are really, really good. Up onto the roof here, that's nice and clean. Obviously a sunroof model, as you can see. We've got a tiny little bit of a reaction in the paint now. I wouldn't actually say it's corrosion, I'd say it's a bit of a reaction almost around the aerial. Coming along here, that's all nice and tidy. The roof itself, nice and straight. Inside these gutters and everything, and the sunroof rails, lovely and clean. All the way around the sunroof itself is good. Nice, sort of original Peugeot stamped clear glass, that's not been messed with. Car's not really a sort of modified or molested example. It's all nice and tidy. Around these plastic trims for the badges, that's all good. Same goes for around the filler cap. All nice and neat along there. Inside this arch is good, as you can see, nice and clean. We've got a Michelin tyre on the back, another good wheel. Round onto the back here, both tail lights nice and clean. No sign of any moisture or anything like that in them. Lower half of the bumper is good all the way along. We can pop our head under here again, nice and clean. We'll have a look at the boot floor from the top, but it is nice and tidy in there. On the bottom of the screen all the way along, that's just as it should be. We've got a little scratch just here. And then along the top of the screen as well, that's all good. Heated rear glass, obviously, with a 1.9. If we look down this side again, nice and straight. There's nothing really to sort of whinge about on the bodywork. It is nice and tidy. It's got the odd little mark here and there, but given the age, I'd say it's pretty good. Again, round the sunroof on this side, nice and straight. Sunroof glass is pretty good. We've got one or two little scratches. How much of that would polish out, I don't know. We've got a bit of glass cleaner, but there's a couple there. Glass on this side, that's all good. Again, we'll have a look at the sill on this side now. Towards the front here, you'll see someone's been a bit excitable with a jack, so that wants a little bit of a tidy up and a straighten out. The rest of the lip's good all the way along. It is nice and sharp. There's no sign of any corrosion anywhere. Lower half of the quarter of the door, all good. It's not sort of covered in Schultz or anything up here, which is quite a common trick on these, but that's all good. Nice and solid in there, as you can see. You could do with a good clean throughout, just with it being sort of sat in a warehouse for a few years. Got a little very faint, you might just see it if we get right on it, scratch, but actually it looks like it's on top of the paint, to be fair. Rest of that front wing's all good. Bottom of the screen around here, that's nice and tidy. We'll check that on the other side as well. Again, you can see, because it normally sort of traps moisture in there, but that's all good. Bonnet itself, like the rest of the car, really good hand polish. I don't even think it needs to go as far as the machine. If we're being really picky, there's a very tiny ding just there. You might just see it in the camera there. And then on the front, nice clear headlights and indicators on both sides. Grille's lovely and clean. Front bumper sits nice and straight. The registration plate is cracked, but it's not the original one, luckily, so not losing anything by replacing that. Nice and clean along the bottom there. Again, if we pop the camera underneath, you can see it's not dropping any fluid. Looks to be nice and clean on the underside of the engine. Onto the interior, so obviously the 1.9 got the leather over the 1.6. And this one is weared really well. It's got a couple of little marks. So what happens with this seat, it's like a basket weave, if you like. And sometimes they unpick themselves. So that's actually come from down the side. So that one you could thread back in. There's one here where it's come off again. It's really easy repair. If you've got a good upholstery, they sort of stitch it back in. But it is worth pointing it out. The leather on the bolsters is really good. That's normally the bit that wears the worst, but it's really, really nice. It's not collapsed. It's nice and firm. Both sides, really, really good. Steering wheel shows very little sign of wear at all. It's nice. It's the original one. There's so many with replacement steering wheels, whereas to me, you just want that original one. 112,000 miles on this one. And again, if you check the description, we'll list all of the service history and everything we've got to go with it. Nice and clear on the gear knob. Generally pretty standard. We've got an older Clarion head unit, which might be the original. It is actually, yeah, they're the original one with the Peugeot stamps on them. And it'll match the book in the book back, I would think. All the carpet set. So these came with, obviously, with a red carpet set. This one looks like it's had mats down for quite a long time because the carpet's lovely and clean. This sort of heel pad is normally worn a bit, but that's really good. In the back of the seat's nice and tidy. And these seats are really good. They don't look like they've had much use at all. Again, the carpet set in here, lovely and clean. Like I say, it is a sunroof model. We've got the sun visor there. That's all nice and clean. The whole headlining is good. No funny smells or signs of any sort of moisture or smoke or dogs or anything like that. Really good. Hit the passenger side. Another nice clean door card. And this seat, like everything else, could do with a good clean. You know, a little mark like that. But that, I would be amazed it doesn't come off because it's just sort of like a bit of something's been dropped on there. Doesn't look like any of the weaves come out at all. It looks really good on this one. And again, the bolster's really nice and firm. The leather hasn't gone really shiny. It's nice and matte still. Carpet on this side's all good. Pull the bonnet while we're around here. We'll start by having a look in the boot. So obviously one of the things you check on these, boot floor, rams and everything in there are good. The underside of the boot lid is nice and tidy. In this area is all good. I have pulled this out just before, so we'll pull that back out. Obviously we've got the correct carpet. It's got a little bit of wear on the paint, where things have been rubbing on it, and a bit of paint flaking off here and there, but nothing to worry about at all. It's just the usual sort of marks on the paint. It's nice and solid. There's no sign of any moisture trapped in here, no sign of any real rot at all. So yeah, pretty happy with that. I'll have a look under the bonnet. So obviously, like I said, 1.9 model. From what I can tell, completely standard. I did briefly take it down the road and it gets up and goes lovely. Engine's nice and smooth, gearbox is good. Even still got the original jack in place there, that's normally gone missing by now. Inner wings and strut tops are all really good. Bulkhead's nice and clean. See this panel, it's always a different colour on these, with removable as well. But no, that's all pretty nice and tidy under there. Sound deadening could do with a good clean at some point. There's no sign of any corrosion. It has definitely been painted because there's a little bit of paint runs there that want polished off, or flattened back if you like. Get it started up. And again, it's not had any sort of crazy immobilizers fitted or anything like that, which is always good. So there you go, we've got to start it up. Not firing anything nasty out the exhaust. You have to ignore that mark, that's an earlier dry, as you can see, that's dried dust from something earlier on, but nothing firing out the back of there. Nice and smooth. Like I said, it does get down the road really well. Give it a little rev. So just to show you, that dust hasn't come back, it's just from another car, like I said. So yeah, there you go. 205 GTI. Any more questions, please get in touch. More than welcome to come and view the car whenever you want. Just let us know and we'll make sure someone's here to show you it. We can start it up, show you the paperwork, whatever you need. If you can't get to us, we can do video calls, we can send you extra photos. Answer any question you've got, just let us know. Thank you.